All right, so this is our mini class this week, and our focus is on sounding or vibration. And the idea is that all the sounds that we make or the sounds around us, every sound carries a vibration, and that vibration has an impact on our physical, our emotional, and our mental health and well-being. And the yogis knew this. They did chanting for thousands and thousands of years. And we're still doing some of those chants that they did way back then as they've been passed down to us. But also now science is looking into sounding and vibration in the body and finding that it has a positive impact on the nervous system, in particular the vagus nerve. So when we make sounds, and there are some sounds that have been studied and shown to have this calming effect. Personally, I think many different sounds can have the same effect, but we just haven't studied them to know. Um, but we're going to look at three sounds today, and these three sounds are basic components of a bigger sound, which many of you will have heard of, called Om, right? The sound Om, which is sort of it comes from Hinduism actually, but adopted by yoga, and it's the most sacred sound in that culture. But if we take it apart, it's got three smaller pieces to it. So it's an ah, so with the jaw open, an oo with the mouth kind of pursed, oo, and an sound with the lips closed. So it's sort of going from most open to closing down. So sort of most obvious to most subtle. And we can make the sound subtle by making it quieter, by making it silent. And they say that the subtlety of the sound is what makes it as powerful as it is. So sit comfortably or stand. I'm standing. You can stand or sit, whatever you like, as long as your spine is straight and you feel a connection to the earth. Spine not exactly straight, spine erect, upright. So the spine has curves, it's never going to be straight, but you want to feel like you're comfortably upright. Good. If you're sitting, sit bones are planted, spine lifting. If you're standing, you can feel your feet planted on the ground. Yeah, and if there's any little movement you want to do just to release any tension around your jaw, your shoulders, your neck, just take a moment. Many of us hold tension in the jaw and neck area, and it can affect the sound that we make. So I invite you to open your jaw, open your mouth, and then side to side, open wide. Good. And then you can even wring your lower teeth in front of your upper teeth to stretch a little in the back of the throat. Good. And then relax. Beautiful. Good. So let's take a moment to center and check in with how we're doing right now before we make some sound, and then we'll do the same after. So just taking a moment to notice your physical body. You can have your eyes closed or open. Notice your physical body. Any sensations that are present, anything that you're aware of in your physical body. And then tuning into your mental state today. So what's your mind mood? Is your mind busy? Is it more focused? Is there anything obsessing in your mind today? So you're just noticing, you're being aware. There's no need to try to change anything. And then take the pulse of your emotional mood. What are your emotions like in this moment? Are you aware of any feelings? So we're going to break these sounds up as I mentioned. So the first sound is ah, and it's a very open sound. And ideally you want to drop the jaw and make that nice open sound. And when we relax the jaw, we actually relax all through the system. There's a diaphragm in the throat. There's a diaphragm at the at the bottom of the lungs there, in the separating the thoracic and abdominal cavities. And there's also at the pelvic floor, there's a diaphragm. When we open the jaw, we're releasing all three of those diaphragms. So we're going to make the sound ah. We'll do it 3 times. When you run out of breath, just take another breath and continue the sound. So breathing in. Pause and take a few normal breaths now. And then that oo sound is a little more focused, making the mouth into an O shape. So breathing in. Again, you can pause for a moment and feel that particular vibration. If you're able to feel anything, it can be quite subtle. So don't worry if you're not aware of any sensation or vibration. It may just be quite subtle. And then the third sound that we'll make is the sound so the lips are closed. So again, we're coming into more subtlety, lips closed and breathing in. And again, let the sound fade. Notice for a moment. You can have your eyes closed or just soften your focus. Notice any resonance in your body if you're able with the vibration and the sounding. Okay, so again, you may not notice anything, especially just doing each sound 3 times, but over time, doing it regularly or doing a little longer, you may find a little bit more resonance. So we're going to keep adding sounds in, sprinkling them in as we go through some movement today. So if you're not already standing, you can come to a standing position. And many of us sit way more than is good for our bodies. So let's just do a little bit of rotation for the hips and shoulders. We'll start with the hips. Just bring some movement into the hips by rotating, tuning into your felt sense, so noticing what you feel in your body as you move. Feeling the ground beneath your feet and how your weight shifts as you circle around. So connecting to the ground, to felt sense, to being present in our bodies. Right? You can release the hands and maybe bring the feet in just a little bit, soften your knees and roll your shoulders, one shoulder and the other. Let the whole body move. Even you can allow your head to gently move as long as it feels okay with your neck. Right, and come back to the center. So we'll do a few movements with the arms and a little bit of forward bending, piece by piece, adding things up with sound. So the first sound again was ah, and we're going to lift and lower the arms with the sound ah. If you feel like challenging yourself a little bit more, you can also, as you lift your arms, you can lift your heels up, and then we'll make the sound as we come down. The heel lifting is optional. If you feel really wobbly, I would say to leave that so that you can really focus on a steady sound. But if you want more challenge, there you go. All right, so we'll lift the arms. When we lower, we'll be chanting. So we'll inhale when we lift, coming up, and the sound is ah. Ah. Again. Ah. And one more. Great. And just to really stress that if your sound is shorter than mine, make it shorter. Don't try to force yourself to go longer. You'll end up creating tension. So the next sound is ooh, and we'll take the arms out to the sides, taking a breath in. And as you exhale, you'll cross the arms across your chest. So one hand to opposite shoulders, or you can tuck one hand into your armpit. This variation, right? This or this, as we bring the hands in. So this is one of the holds we looked at last week. Right, so breathing in, the sound is ooh. Ooh. You can alternate which hand is on top if you like, again. Ooh. Let's do two more. Ooh. So opening the arms and then releasing this time down to your sides. And we'll do a forward bend this time. We'll do this 4 times with the sound mm. So when you go forward, we'll be raising the arms up on the inhale, going forward as you chant. You want to bend your knees. You can stop either hands on the knees, shins, or reaching all the way down. So we'll do that 4 times with the breath and the sound mm, with the mouth closed. So breathing in. Last time you end up in the forward bend, if it feels good, you can stay a few breaths, either reaching for the ground or holding your arms or resting your arms on your thighs. You want to keep your knees bent and keep the spine long and released and the neck long and released. So wherever you are, soft in the spine, releasing the head. From your forward bend, you can bring your fingertips to the ground, walk forward with your hands. If you're comfortable in downward dog, you can walk back to downward dog. If not, you'll just lower the knees to come to all fours. So if you've come to downward dog, you might walk your feet on the spot, releasing the calves and the hamstrings a little more. Release your head between your arms. And if you're already on all fours, great. And if not, you can lower the knees to come to all fours. And we'll work with the cat-cow movement. So inhaling, arching, exhaling, rounding. And you can Also, instead of just rounding, move to child's pose on your exhale if you prefer, if that feels better for you. So inhale and exhale. And if you like, you can use one of the sounds, either ah, ooh, or as you exhale and round. Whichever sound you like. As always, you're following your own breath, your own pace. A couple more. And then you can either choose to spend a few breaths in child's pose if you like, or if you want to keep moving and maybe circle the hips, circle back to cat-cow. So a minute or two just to explore or be in whatever version of this movement or this pose feels good for you right now. Great. And then when you feel complete with the movement or being in child's pose, whatever you've chosen, we're going to make our way onto our backs. So you can come upright and swing your legs around, or if you like, you can cross your ankles and sit back over your legs if that's comfortable for you. So however you want to get there, really, you're going to come onto your mat, onto your back. Bring your hands onto your body somewhere where you can feel your breath. Knees can be bent or straight. For me, it's always more comfortable with my knees bent, but for some people it's more comfortable legs straight. So whatever works for you. Just letting the hands rest on the body for a few breaths. Letting your body settle here. So feeling again the ground beneath you, feeling the points of contact between your body and the earth. Your earth too, our earth. Feel the breath sink you down into those points of contact. So using lots of the tools that we've looked at over the last few weeks, grounding, felt sense, breath, touch, and now sounding as well. And we can use these tools together or separately, all having an effect in some positive way on our nervous system, bringing us back to a little bit of regulation if we've become stressed or anxious. So just being here, breathing, tuning in, feeling the ground, touching the body in this way. We're using several of these calming tools. It doesn't have to be big or challenging. It can be very subtle and very simple. So we'll work with a gentle twist now. You can leave your hands on your body, in fact, if you like, or you can move them to the ground, whatever you prefer. And we'll do a very quiet humming sound on each exhale. So you'll inhale in the center. As you exhale, soft humming sound. As your knees go to the side, you'll breathe in normally to the center. And then going the other way, same thing, softly humming. Continue at your own pace, making sound if that feels right for you, humming. Otherwise, you can just do it quietly and even with the idea of making sound. And maybe one more to either side if it still feels good. Great, and then eventually you'll make your way back to center. And you'll want to bring your knees up into your chest to give a little stretch to your back after the twist. So if you bring one hand to each knee, straighten your arms, take a breath in, and as you exhale, draw the knees in toward your body. Inhale, the knees move away. Exhale, they draw in. And if you like, you can do a very, very quiet humming sound, or even just the idea of humming. So it could be silently sounding, if that's such a thing. Great, and then as you're ready, you can slowly release the feet to the ground. And when your feet come to the ground, pausing there, you can bring your hands to the ground. And we'll lift the arms straight up, reaching them overhead toward the ground behind you. You can bend your elbows if you need to be comfortable. And then coming back down. The hands don't have to touch the floor behind you, but if they do, that's fine. We're moving in that direction. We'll do one more here. Wonderful. And then as your arms come down this time, let's take them a little bit away from the body, turning the palms toward the ceiling so the shoulders can stay very relaxed. And then bring your heels in so that they're underneath your knees. So if your legs were straight, you're going to bend them again, bringing the feet under the knees. And then we'll lift in bridge pose. And here the invitation again is to make sound on your exhale. So when we're lowering on the exhale, you can make the ah sound, or if you prefer, it could be ooh or So pressing into the feet, lifting the hips, keeping the neck, throat, face relaxed, lowering down any sound you like. Again. Again, at your own pace, so you may be in a different phase than I am. And wherever you're at, try one more. And then as you come down, we'll take just a couple of minutes to rest, to check in, to integrate. So you could, if you like, bring your hands back onto your torso or leave them on the ground. You could keep your knees bent, maybe wiggle your feet apart so your knees fall together and hold each other up. Or you might choose to straighten your legs out on the ground. So the idea here is we're simply checking in and noticing what sensations are you aware of? What do you feel in your body now? What do you feel in your throat? What are you aware of around your face, your sinuses, your forehead? Can you feel the weight of your head on the ground and all the points of contact that your body makes with the earth? Are you aware of your breath? Noticing that gentle rising and falling, the coming and going of the breath, with no need to do anything, no need to change anything. So a few more breaths here. And then we're going to transition to seated again. So if you want to hug your knees into your chest or do any movement here lying down prior to coming to sit, take your time. When you do make your way to a seated posture, you can either roll straight up from lying down, that's a nice option for some, or the easier version is to roll sideways first and then use your hand to support you to come upright. And then you can sit on a chair or sit on the floor or on a bolster or cushion if you have one handy. The main thing is not how you're sitting, but that you are comfortable. And you could also, as I offered as a suggestion in the beginning of the class, you could also do this part standing. So the main thing is that you have a nice upright spine. Whether you're sitting or standing is not important. So again, I invite you to bring your hands onto your body so you can feel your breath. So it could be one hand on the belly, one on the heart, or both hands on the heart, or both hands on the belly. So see what feels right for you. And we'll bring those three sounds together now. So it's ah, oo, and and spending about a third of your breath on each segment, but it doesn't have to be exact. So just transition from ah to oo, and then oo to And it's the exact same sound or same position in the throat. It's just the lips change position to change the sound. So when you're ready, breathing in. Again. And so letting the sound fade, but staying with the vibration in your body, in your mind, noticing what is present now. Noticing how you feel now compared to how you felt about a half an hour ago when we started. And knowing that just like any of the tools that we've been looking at over the last few weeks, this is a very powerful tool for balancing energy in the body to calm the nervous system by stimulating the vagus nerve. You can do this anywhere. You can do it loudly if you have the freedom to do so. You can do it quietly, or you can do it silently. Just having the intention can be as powerful as making the actual sound. Namaste.